Now, Drew wanted me to talk about restless leg syndrome because people are calling in with that. You know, when you start to lose the kidney, this is all about the kidneys. Almost in all these conditions, it's about the kidneys and the loss of filtration from those kidneys. Once you lose filtration, you start to get in trouble. We've talked a great deal about this. But the back, the lower back, L4 and L5 specifically, start to swell. And when you start to swell, anywhere, you start to impede or block the flow of either blood or nerve, because the lymph is already getting blocked. So you start seeing swelling. You can see an impaired blood flow sometimes, more likely an impaired neural flow. So then, of course, with the acidosis, you see the neuropathies and the breakdown of the myelin sheath, just as you would at the breakdown of liver tissue or the breakdown of kidney tissue or any other tissue like that. So when you start to swell, your nerves can spasm, of course, and, you know, you get restless legs from that. Matter of fact, the weaker the nervous system, you know, and what weakens tissue? Acids. What side of chemistry? Acids. What system in your body deals with the acids? The lymphatic system. And these acids are just cell waste, cell poo-poo. This is the sewer system. So get her cleaned up, and you can save all these people up here. I've got to run, and I got a lot more questions that I wanted to go over. I wanted to go over this one. Someone asked me some questions about iridology, but I'm out of time. I'll say this. This is Simone. At the very last, I'll go over this again with you. You say, you seem to completely ignore the idea of pigmentation in the eye as a form to protect the underlying organs. Yeah, I do ignore that because I disagree with that thinking. That's ridiculous. That is how far I looked into this material. Yeah, I mean, you've commented about Ellen and that sort of thing. I just disagree with Ellen. I mean, I knew Doc personally quite a bit. I knew how Doc felt about Ellen and his son Art, Ellen's husband. I know all those stories, guys, so I know all about that. All I can say is that there's difference of opinions in iridologists. Most of that thinking is German iridology. In my opinion, is not American iridology. And I disagree with colors, pigmentation in your eye representing protection. No, I don't see that at all. Not true at all. You can change the color of the eye right back to the natural pigmentation of the eye, whether it be a brown or blue eye. Those things, full spectrum lighting comes into that. There's no protection of that. If anything, you with that thought, with anything, you could say that when you start building up toxicity in the body and it builds up in the eye, you block full spectrum lighting from hitting the optic nerve properly and being transported to the rest of the body. You could maybe stretch and say that. But eye pigmentation color has nothing to do, in my opinion, at all with protecting the cells of the organs of the body. That's ridiculous. They're protected by the cell wall. The cell wall is protected by the phospholipids, which is HDL predominantly. You have protection everywhere for that. You need neural transport of energy directly from the sun, and you don't want anything blocking that. So if anything, the accumulation, the changing of the pigmentation of the eye could block, if anything. So I find that to be a ridiculous statement, whoever's saying that one. But I'll read this the next time for the next people, and I apologize, Simone. I'm out of time here, and I got to run, but I love you guys. Keep researching, though. Keep asking these questions because they don't bother me. I don't know everything. There's no question about that. But when it comes to iridology, I've had a lot of years with it. And I can tell you there's so many things out there that people are saying about that's not true. And that's what I hate to take a science and start smearing it. And that's basically what's been going on. Different people have different opinions and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's good to have opinions, there's no question, and there probably needs to be a lot more symposiums and people getting together with iridology to make it more of a state and a science of itself, there's no question. For me, I'm so involved in my practice that I didn't want to just be an iridologist. I told Doc, I said, man, I don't want your iridology side. I don't want that. I'm so busy at this level. But be careful on the wild side. There's a lot of wild opinions out there and things that to me have no basis in truth and facts like that. These are healers that don't know how to get the body healed up. Because if you can't get if a person has blue eyes and they're any other color, from the whites to the yellows to the hazels where the brown is, and even some that are almost all brown, if you can't get that changed back, you can't detoxify properly. And so people can argue with me, but we change them every day here. And good point, case in point's Marcy. For those that came to the class, to see the dramatic difference that Marcy's done on herself, dramatic, taking an almost brown eye to almost blue. Dramatic, but we have plenty of befores and afters. So it's just stuff we've personally seen, and if that's protective, it wouldn't come out. You see what I'm saying? No, that has nothing to do with that. That definitely has to do with conditions of the internal body, and Jensen and all of us knew that sort of thing. I don't know what road Ellen's driving down, but when she says she disagreed with Doc and stuff like that, then and the things that I know about her from Doc, I just don't have much respect there. No offense. But with that said, let's get ourselves well. Let's get ourselves happy. Let's get ourselves down to Wellville. Let's do some out-of-body traveling. And let's do some cyber hugs. To each and every one of you, my love goes out, and a big cyber hug today, and let's have fun. You know, we can argue on the small stuff later, but let's have fun, get the bodies, and all you guys that are in serious trouble, let's get yourselves well. Don't cop out and say, I gotta have my meat, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. These are excuses. Excuses not to face yourself. Excuses not to face yourself. Love you all. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.